if you've actively chosen to go down a road to get to an end destination and you're brought into that destination, then little sacrifices along the way are less of a big deal.
Get Radio Breakfast with Rich Smith.
Morning would not be complete, or it would be rubbish, wouldn't it, without Sara Southey doing things the Southey Way, healthy mind, body and soul. Morning, Sara.
Morning, Rich. I think that description of the track could quite easily describe me.
Well, quite.
Magic and rude.
Magic and rude. Wow, the perfect combination. Right, less about that and more about, this ties in nicely with, okay, first and foremost, a fantastic workshop that you've got coming up in a few weeks' time. But secondly, this was born out of me actually seeing something. Just a friend of mine just put up on Instagram, and I sometimes sort of flick through all these things and what have you. But this morning, actually, sort of stayed and sort of read it and kind of went, well, do you know what? That's absolutely perfect to talk about with Sara. It was a post of just kind of saying, do you know what? If we're waking up this morning, could be a bit of a tough one today. Okay, you're looking outside, it's cold. Okay, we all agree it's cold. It's gonna be blooming cold this week. It's dark outside. It's a Monday morning. Maybe the whole Christmas things are getting on your nerves a little bit. Too early. It's too early. Anyway, no, I'm leaving it. But all of these things. And the post basically went, do you know what? You can wake up today and you could choose to live in a different town if you wanted to. You could. It'd be difficult, but you could do it. You could change your job if you wanted to. You could, again, we all know that there's difficult things and what have you. You could do that. You could take a sugar out of your coffee this morning. You could do that if you wanted to. You could become a vegetarian. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. There's a billion, infinite things that you can do, and you could change one or all of them literally right now if you wanted to.
If you wanted to. The thing is, I find it fascinating. So social media is designed to stop you scrolling. And there was something in that post, Rich, that made you stop scrolling.
Yeah.
And that's what I find fascinating, is because every individual is different and we all do get to choose. Even inaction is a choice. So doing nothing is a choice. And the one thing, I always bang on about the one thing, it's my favorite thing, is making that choice. If you could make one difference in your life, it's to actively choose your action rather than just let it happen to you and you react.
Yeah. Is there something to be said, though, for being content with the decision that you make, i.e., kind of choosing to do something, but if it's making you unhappy, like, okay, let's take a tiny one, like a sugar in your coffee. All right, there'll be people listening this morning who are kind of, that it's an automatic thing. I have sugar in my coffee, bang. And if you go, actually, well, if I took that sugar out, a little bit less sugar, probably good for you. It's all a good thing. But if you don't enjoy that thing, if that, do you know what I mean? You've made that choice, and you go, well, actually,
taking the sugar out takes the joy of your morning, and it makes your coffee a chore rather than a joy, then I'd leave the sugar in. Yeah. Quite frankly. Because life's too short to be miserable. We get to choose.
Yeah, it is. It's and you see it with so many. I think we've all got friends who, and they'll come into the office today, and they'll come in and go, "Oh, do you have a nice weekend?" No, I didn't. I didn't have a nice weekend. I'm on this diet where I can only think about drinking water, and that's it. I've given up. I've given up drinking. I've stopped eating anything I like. And it's like, wow, you're a bundle of joy, aren't you? Maybe want to have a little rethink about that.
What happens is they're doing stuff that they think they should do to get to an end result that they would perhaps want. So if you reframe things in terms of what you're getting out of it, brain loves all of that stuff. Yeah. So, what is the purpose? What is the point? If you've actively chosen to go down a road to get to an end destination and you're brought into that destination, then little sacrifices along the way are less of a big deal. If you're not bought into where you're going, I mean, if you're going to somewhere like Mauritius, say, you kind of bought into that commitment of the flight might be a bit rough and you might have to queue through security, all that kind of stuff. But Mauritius is a really cool place to go. So you're all good. If you're going to, say, Slough, it's perhaps not got the same appeal.
I don't know. There's some lovely bits of Slough.
I mean, if you're going to see a lovely friend in Slough, then that's a whole different ballgame, right? So it's how we look at things, not, so the reframe from, today's not great, I'm not feeling it, la, 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 to, okay, so what is the positive that we can take out of this moment and bring us up to a level where we can start looking for positive? It's not even being positive. You can just look for it and it will bring your mood up. I have been struggling a little bit this morning because it's cold and it's dark. And then I came into my office and I looked out the window, and although it's a little bit misty because of the cold, the moon is still up. So the sun is out and the moon is still up. I think that's pretty cool. And I'm just going to choose to focus on that rather than,
the trudge of coming on radio.
Drudge. I mean, it's such a hard shit, Rich.
that's the hard bit of the Monday morning, that's for sure, definitely.
If I have to.
A quick little plug for the workshop, which leads nicely into this, which is going to be happening in a few weeks.
Well, I am. So I run this workshop called SOS Your Life, which is essentially what we've been talking about. So it is finding the roadmap for your particular life and then living that rather than finding the roadmap that somebody else wants you to live for your life.
Oh, it's a peach. It's a peach. Well,
it is a bit of a peach.
It is good. I like it. I like it a lot. We'll have some more of that in the next couple of weeks. That's for sure. I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. Nice, Sarah. Well, thanks for putting on a brave face and joining us this morning on the radio. And thank goodness for the moon this morning. Otherwise, it'd have been a nightmare.
I know. A miserable Sarah is not something you want on the radio.
I don't think that exists. If I'm being honest, I don't think that exists.
It does.
Sarah, thanks so much for joining us. Always a pleasure, and
never
we get some great things out of you, and it kind of just reassesses our Monday morning. And as you well know, my Monday starts right now. Thank you.
Yes, your Monday is so much better than fine.
Something like that, don't we? Right. Thank you so much, Sarah. Speak next week.
See you next week.
Top stuff. Sara Southey doing things the Southey Way. Of course, you can check out her little boot camp and what have you all over her socials where you can find her, Sara Southey, the Southey Way. Have a little look at that.